Hi everybody and welcome to this what will be a phenomenal episode of the Being Politely Rebellious in Pompey video podcast. We are joined today by the one and only legend that is Linvoy Primus.
Hello.
How you doing?
Well, I'm good, thank you. I'm well.
I've kind of got past the fangirl part now. We've had a nice little pre-chat, so I
Yeah.
feel like I can breathe. But yeah, life's all right. Life's good.
Yeah, pretty good, thank you.
Yeah.
Busy. Everyone will say my life's always busy, but it just feels like at the moment I'm on the road a fair bit. But there's a period of time, especially during a football season, where I'm quite busy, and then it just switches off. So
calms down a bit.
Yeah.
And why is that? Is that because you're like mentoring, coaching, speaking?
So it's mostly mentoring now.
Yeah.
So about 4 years ago, I started to work for the Football League in their education department.
Yeah.
And one of their programs they deliver is mentoring workshops. So first year scholars who are about 16, 17, 6 months out of school.
Yeah.
We're trying to help them understand that their identity isn't just a sporting identity. You know, they're not just. I start by saying to them, "Who's a footballer here?" They raise their hands. I say, "None of you are footballers," and their faces are like, drop.
You're trying.
Yeah, you're trying. But I say to them, "Your son. Some of you are siblings. Some of you are musicians. So I said, football isn't the only thing you are. You're more than that. That's part of you." And then we start to unpack over about 4 or 5 weeks, self-reflection, their how they view themselves, how others view themselves, and get to a place where they understand that these other gifts that they've got will really enhance their football as well.
Yeah.
So it's getting them to think outside the box. But if you can do it at that age, by the time they get to 18, 19, 20, where it's a crucial time in terms of being taken on or not as pros, they probably have an idea that this is good for my well-being. This what I do away from football is good for my well-being, and it will also help with my transition, whether it's into professional football or out of football. It will help with that as well.
So like they don't have to limit themselves.
No.
If anything, it's better to have almost an escape
It
from
is,
football.
yeah.
So even though that's what you love doing and that's what you see yourself doing professionally, you need to have something that's an outlet.
Exactly, because it's otherwise, like anything, it can become all-consuming. And when it fails, because football fails every single day, every second of the day, football fails somewhere. If you've got nothing else to stabilize you, that's where those dark thoughts come in. That's where those moments of doubt and whatever else come in at that time. But like you say, if you've got something that can take your mind off of it, but you enjoy it, not for the sake of doing it, but you really enjoy it, all of a sudden, the sport that you love doing as a kid for nothing, you just wanted to run about, kick, be with your friends, you'll head back to that. But it's, you'll know the pressures, but you'll head back to that actually I love doing this, and the benefits of it are great, but I actually, if you took those benefits away, would I still do it? So it's that balance. So at the moment, I visit Plymouth, which is just around the corner.
Nice. Something like that. That's a horrible drive.
Oh,
Plymouth.
you know what?
It's a horrible drive.
I've done it a couple of times, and there's been heavy rain, and I'm not joking.
No.
My eyes at the end,
roads.
or the tractors, or the lorries.
You must feel like someone's like pushing your eyeballs.
But sometimes it's a nice drive in terms of you can switch off. Sometimes it's nice like that. So
when
that's
the sun's out.
When the sun's out,
the music on, windows down.
But then all the caravans start coming out, so you get caught behind them. And so I've got Plymouth, which is my furthest. Pompey,
nice.
So just in there yesterday with the boys, and Millwall and Wimbledon. So they're the 4 clubs I deal with.
So when you're with the boys at, say, Pompey, is it the ones that are in the training academy?
Yes.
Yeah. Have
So
you met Chib?
I don't think so. No, if he's under 16, when I say under 16,
he's 18, I think.
Oh, I should have met him.
Yeah, really tall Nigerian boy.
What is his first name? Chip or Chin?
Oh, is it Chin? Chibukem.
Yesterday,
Really tall,
yes.
He was on our voice program.
Oh, was he?
So we helped him do like the application and
brilliant.
pre-interview to get rid of the nerves. He's so polite.
He was. Well, he always has been when I've been with him.
That's amazing.
So, but I think yesterday was a moment where the realization that 2 years is over, and now decisions are going to be made. And you could just see. I just reminded them that football is about opinions, and this manager's opinion of you doesn't decide who you are, but you've got to realize that now those things that they've asked you to do, you've got to take into this next stage, and only you can do it. Only you can walk across that line when you've had the worst game the week before and the fans are on your case, and you've got to step back out that following Saturday. Only you can do it. And what does it take?
The strength and resilience that it takes is something that, I know that with all sports, but football in particular, being as I know there's a lot of women playing football now, but obviously so male oriented. And I think it's only really recently that it's become okay to talk about, the strain and the stress that comes with it. So I can't even imagine what it was like 20, 30, even 10 years ago. It was a whole different ball game, no pun intended. One of the things that I've noticed is that you don't have social media, right? And I'm assuming that's a conscious decision. So I love that we've got that opportunity to talk to you and talk about all the work that you do, because typically with a lot of people you get to see what's happening right, through social media. And I think that's one of the reasons why actually I was really excited about getting you in, because I was like, well, everyone really respects Linvoy and you're on this huge pedestal. We all know that you're doing stuff because people, if I don't know if you ever do this, but if you look you up on social media, there's loads of photos of what you're doing. It's just not posted by you.
That's true. That is true.
So you can see that you're still active and doing all of this amazing work, but obviously not through you. Is that something that you've always been firm on, for yourself?
That's a really good question. I think I suppose I was at that age where I saw the transition from the early, I can't remember the early social medias where, I can't remember the name.
MySpace and stuff like that.
But my children were doing that. So my eldest son's 32. So I saw it, but I never lived it. And then when Twitter and all these other ones came in, I realised, a friend said to me, "Oh, my daughter's got more followers than you."
Oh, wow.
Because she follows One Direction and she posts about them. So she's got a lot of One Direction followers. And I thought to myself, but I'm not looking at it as a competition. I just, whatever I can, So from that moment, I thought, you know what? If I get a chance to stop doing this, I'm going to stop. And it was only Twitter and X. And I thought, you know what? That's it. I'm done. I'm not going to do. I was never interested in Facebook because I was quite private anyway in terms of life and family and stuff. But I just never felt
the need.
No. And
I love that.
And even now, for we'll speak about it, but not talk about it as in terms of the new business. Even now, I'm like, I'm not doing it. Someone's going to have to do it for me, because I'm not going to get into this being on my phone. And I think that's
constant.
And I think that's what I've realised in the last 5 years, that I really don't like my phone. I really don't like it.
It's like a blessing and a curse.
It is, isn't it? It really is. Everybody feels, and when I say everybody, it's like a collective. Well, if I contact you at any time, you have to respond. And it's like, oh no. So you're right. It's a blessing and a curse.
I'll turn mine off at 8 o'clock. 9 times out of 10, come 8 p.m, it's turned off. Because I find even if it's on silent or airplane mode, I'll put it up on the bedside table or the windowsill, but then I'll slowly creep for it and then have a mindless scroll. So I just have to turn it off. It's just such a waste of time.
And I have the opposite, because some of the before the role I took with the LFE, with the Football League, I was doing a role with a charity called Christians in Sport. So supporting sports people who are Christians, helping them to develop their faith, because some of them were so high profile, they couldn't go to church, or they in the dressing room, they might have been the only one who had faith. So my calls with them could be at 9, 10. Sometimes there was players in other countries messaging me. So I was getting to that point where even if I wanted to
Just
turn it off,
24/7.
yeah. So then I just made a conscious decision with all of them and said, listen, if I don't respond within like 10 minutes, you know, I'm not
just
going to get back to you.
leave me be kind of thing.
Yeah. So,
And imagine dealing with all of that and then having the pressures of social media on top of
I
that.
know,
Like
I just stepped away.
It's not worth it.
I don't need that added one. I don't need that app.
I don't need
that
you
app.
don't need that app. No, keep it as it is.
Yeah.
Keep it as it. And I think it adds a layer of mystery as well, which I think is you know, that I think that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like you're doing your thing, you're going about your day, and you're having tons of impact. But the outcomes speak for themselves, right?
Yeah,
you know
I'd rather that. Yeah, I'd rather that. Because someone said to me, when I was talking about the business and the potential, they said, "Oh, you'll be famous again." And I said, "No, it's not about me being famous. I want them to be famous. You know, I want whoever I'm supporting.
But there's
I want
no
them."
again about it. You are.
Yeah,
you're forever in history, right?
But I think I've always, and this might sound strange, but I've always wanted to be the one at the back. I always wanted to be able to celebrate somebody that I all throughout my career, and I think that's why the way I played football was an unselfish way. Give your all, and if you could score for the team, so if you could score but someone else can score that's in an easier position, I'd rather them. And I think that's how I've always been. So for me to be up the front, you know, I blame Mick Mellows for this. You know, I'm going to big him up because he's the one that said, "Lynn, you can do it. You can get up there and speak." I'm like, "No, I can't." Next thing you know, he's got me up there in front of thousands of people, and
do you enjoy that side of it? Yeah,
I'm comfortable. Do I enjoy it? It's not something I do every day.
Yeah,
it's not something
it
I
takes
tend
a
to
lot
do.
out of you, right?
It does. And the thing for me, I always had a thought process. If you're ever up front, like make it worthwhile for whoever's listening to you. You know, even if it's one little bit. But because of that, I go into a mode where I project him, but it's a lot of energy. And then when I finish afterwards, I'm like, So that's why I know I couldn't do it as a full-time thing.
Really wise to, I mean, obviously I'm only really doing speaking for young people, sort of like 200 young people at a time, let's say. But I try my best not to back them. So I would never do like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like back to back, because you give so much, and you're also, you know, teachers are phenomenal, and I give them so much praise, the work and the energy that they put into it. But I think when you're an external speaker coming into a school, you're really conscious that you want to make it different, and you want to make it high energy to give them that kind of different experience.
That's right.
So afterwards you're like, oh,
take me out
a dark room and a straight jacket for a couple of days.
The amount of drives home I've had, I'm like, I can't do this anymore.
No. But something pulls you back
a few
to
days
it.
later, you know, you're just like, no, this is it. And I guess that's the whole thing about us going back to social media. I used to see so many things on there thinking that you know, that's people's lives, really cool and whatever else. And then when you realise that's not authentic,
it's like 2% of
what it is. So when you're driving home and you're knackered and you're thinking, oh, I can't do this. 3 days later, when you say you can, it's because it's in you. You know what I mean? It's like
there's nothing you can do about it.
No, it's like I don't want to do it.
And that's just, it's
like, hold on, this one's coming at this. Oh, shall I? Yes, and then, you know. So
that's it. Just crack on and get the energy from somewhere. So I know that we've dove straight into everything, and normally I do this completely the other way around, but it just felt right and felt natural. But let's take it back. So let's take us back to baby Linvoy.
Baba Linvoy.
Born in London?
Born in London, East London, Stratford.
East London, Stratford.
Stratford ain't the same now.
No,
it's different now.
But
so I was actually born in Forest Gate Hospital, which is probably about a mile from Stratford, and but I think from what my parents say, we lived in Manor Park for maybe the first 6 months of my life, and then we moved to Stratford and lived there till I was about 20, 21, I think.
Oh wow! So a long time.
Yeah, a long time. Yeah, lots of as London changes, you see those changes. But I think for me, in that period of time, that was obviously growing up in an area where, for my parents, work and not survival, because it's never survival, but work and making sure there's food on the table was the main thing.
Yeah.
Working whatever hours or whatever, that was the thing. And but there was something in me, even from that age, wanting to be active, be out there. Didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
I used to run fast. I used to kick the ball hard. I didn't think you
were
could
like,
never make a
this
career.
makes sense.
Yeah. But what I realised, anything where I could run and it was high energy, I loved. I come alive.
Yeah,
you know?
like you got a real kick out of it.
Yeah, and living in a block of flats on the 17th floor, a bit hard to do
not
that.
Ideal.
Yeah, not
yeah,
ideal,
not
really.
ideal.
But
so
yeah.
Did you learn to play football like on fields or like in these football cages?
More of a football cage.
I think they're phenomenal.
Oh, it's mad.
I think it's given us as a society the most incredible, fearless footballers. Because you're in such close. There's nowhere to run, right? There's nowhere to hide.
And the thing was, it wasn't like you go to where the cage was, and whoever was in there playing, if you asked to play, you dealt with it. So they'd play it like boys who were 4 years older than you, smash you up against the cage. But what you realise is like, I'll stay away from him next time. I'm not going to get involved in that.
No, we'll leave that one. Shop.
Just wait for my mates. But then you became that person. But what it taught us very over time, we respected our elders, because they could hurt us in terms of football wise very quickly, but they respected us because even if we got kicked about and stuff, we still come back. So there was a little bit of peer-to-peer respect, but also in that, and that's life, isn't it? You do get the people that take a bit too far, but there was also a thing of that's danger, so you step back from it as well.
So you're building that resilience, but you're also learning like almost right from wrong kind of thing, like what's okay and what's not.
Exactly. And if you took it out of the cage and you realised that what you've done outside the cage is wrong, you're like, oh, maybe just leave it in the cage then, But the hardest thing we used to deal with was broken glass and bottles on the thing. That was the hardest thing, because you go there and you think, oh, someone's found all these milk bottles on there. And
it reminds me of growing up in Somerstown and walking around the Needles, that type of thing. And in the grass, it was the worst thing because you couldn't really...
You wouldn't know
it until you luckily I never stepped on one, but found a few. But it's that thing in it where you just want to be a kid and you just want to play.
You see the ball, you just want to play. Yeah, exactly.
When did you realise you were good? At football.
No. Good boy. I'm a good boy. When my mum told me loads of times after she smacked me and said, "Now you're a good boy."
You're grounded. You're a good boy.
That's a really good question. I think what it was, and it takes an external voice to let you know that. And I remember there were two brothers, and their reputation for playing football was big. And one was my age, one's a little bit older. And anyway, for some reason, my dad signed me up for the Cub Scouts. And this particular weekend, it was like all these Cub Scouts were at this certain place. Can't remember, much about it. I know we was camping. But these two boys were there, and I didn't know them before that. I just knew their name. Didn't know that was them. Anyway, someone set up a football thing, and I thought, my days, these guys are good. And I'm like, whoa. You know what? After the little game, they came up to me and said, I was good.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's like, if they're saying it, maybe I'm all right. So they tried to get me to come and play for their team. But my mum and dad were definitely like, no, we don't know who these people are and stuff like that. Enough. Yeah. So I think that's the moment I knew. But in school, because I was fast, could kick the ball hard, they said I was good. But it's like just your mates in school. But when these footballers were saying it, I thought, maybe there's something.
A different level of acceptance. That's almost, right? And believing in yourself. I suppose it's quite like that for musicians as well, right? My son's a musician, and whilst I know he's amazing and he does know he's good, it wasn't until he was being asked to be in other people's bands that he was like, it's not just my mum telling me that I'm all right, It's like that change, that switch. How old were you when that happened?
I think about
secondary school, do you think?
Just starting secondary school, because we were unfortunate really, because once the first 3 years or first 2 years, we had loads of strikes where the
Right.
teachers weren't doing no activities
Oh,
outside of
wow.
school. So
Oh, wow.
I particularly chose that school because their football stuff was meant to be really good.
Yeah, yeah.
Get there, no football.
Ugh.
So a friend who I met in the first like 6 weeks of secondary school played football, and he said, "Oh, why don't you come for sign for my team?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, my mum and dad never let me." He said, "It's fine, don't worry. Just all you got to do is get your pictures taken and get your birth certificate."
Yeah.
So
Rummaging around in mum's
yeah,
drawers.
yeah, because I couldn't tell them,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So anyway, I don't know how it happened, but my dad went out. I think he's going to pick my mum up. So at that particular time, I went with my friend and his dad and signed for this team.
So you found your birth certificate.
Yeah,
You actually
yeah,
did go
yeah,
rummaging through the
yeah,
door. I was
yeah.
just joking.
Oh
but
no,
for
that
real,
was
he
true.
done it.
Yeah, it
He
was
done
true.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
Fair play.
Yeah, and then
Were they just against football? Like, was it football? Was it hanging around with like groups of boys? Did they ever dream that you were going to be a doctor or something?
Yeah, well,
like,
you know what? I think there was a lot of racial tension around this area where I was going. I didn't know how bad the racial tension was, but it was like right, that was the heart of it. And I think for them, I was their only child.
Oh, were you an only child?
In terms of with them, so they had children from different relationship.
Yeah.
But so I was for them the only one. So I was the real baby. So stepping out on my own was like big.
Yeah.
And I suppose they had the security, like of being in a flat, knowing that for me to go out and play, they could see me.
Yeah,
they could see where I was going.
You back for dinner,
my days! You know, you can hear your mum.
Ready.
You know what? You can hear her voice over every mum's voice. I knew it was hers. So, so there was a bit of that, and I suppose in some way back then, could you really make a living out of football? You know, if that's the path you're going to take, how are you going to get into professional football? I didn't know.
Yeah.
For me, it was just about enjoying running around, freedom, because I wasn't in this flat. So anyway, signed for this team, came home and told my mum and dad the following day, and my dad was fuming. Oh, he was fuming. But then he just said, "You know what? You've made a commitment to them. Go, you know, you can go and play." And they came and watched a couple of times, and we were terrible. Like honestly, terrible. So my dad said after one game, no. My dad said after one game, "Why don't you?" He said, "You don't have to come to church with us. You can like stay with them because like you need to improve. So you're better off going."
So it was like a weekend, like Saturday, Sunday.
It was just Sunday.
So your parents were churchgoers.
Yes, they were.
What was that like for you? Like, is that something that was part of your childhood?
Yeah, because of my grandparents, but particularly from my dad's side, Sunday, honestly, like we'd all like. So my dad's got 5 siblings, and most of us would be there on Saturday and Sunday. So there's always food cooking and stuff. It was just a nice vibe. That was the hub.
Yeah.
Sunday, don't make no noise. If songs of praise is on or anything like that, they got anything on the radio, my grandparents, definitely. So it was because of the way they demonstrated it in terms of that. I think for all of us as cousins, we all thought, nah, man, that's too like religious.
Rigid.
That's too rigid. Yeah, we don't want that. But I think just little seeds that were sown just gave us a bit of a moral compass as well within that. So I wasn't anti, but I definitely knew I didn't want to be in church on a Sunday if I could be out playing football. That was my thing.
Yeah.
So it was okay. I was aware of Christmas. I was aware of Easter, but it wasn't something where I knew that, you know, it's bigger, you know, what we anchored to in life and things like that. I didn't realise that. I just thought it was something that, it's like, I felt like we had to go to school again.
Yeah, like almost like a punishment rather than a blessing.
Especially as I'm walking in, all my mates out there, you know, like I'm looking at, I'm like, this ain't right. Let me get this tie off. I'm wearing my Sunday best, you know.
And it's almost, I guess, like, especially when you're like teenager and stuff, it's even more so like feeling like you're not in control and like you're being controlled. And so then you kind of associate it with that feeling, which can turn people off for many, many years.
Oh, yeah.
So when was like your first break in football? Like when was it, when you like, say, finished school? Did you go to college or?
No. So at 14.
Yeah.
So this is, you know, when there's key people in your life who don't, I wouldn't say don't do a lot because a lot can look different for so many people, but what he done for all of us was he sat us down one day after training.
Who's this? Like the coach at the time?
The coach at the time. Sorry, yeah, coach at the time for the Sunday team. He sat us down and he said, my life's been bad. He said, and he wouldn't tell us what he's done, but he said, I've been in prison for a long time, but I really, believe in you guys. And he said, what I'm going to do, I'm going to write to every club in London for every single one of you to get you a trial.
Oh, wow.
He said, because I really think there's some of you here that are good enough.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, wow, okay then.
God.
And he done it.
Oh, wow.
He done it. And one club, which was Charlton, wrote back and just said, bring your whole team over to play our age group. So it's like under 13s or something, play our age group. And we'll go from there. So going over, it was brilliant because, it's totally illegal now. Totally illegal, right? So I'll just say that now. Safeguarding all that disclaimer.
Yeah.
It was a long time ago. I'm an old man, right? So flatbed vans.
Yeah.
So the coach had a flatbed van. So he had the cab.
Yeah.
He's driving.
Yeah.
The other coach is there and the coach's son.
Yeah.
The rest of us are laying down in this flatbed van,
open
top.
Wow.
If our parents knew,
wow.
So anyway,
and how many of you?
I'm not going to tell you that number.
No, just like all like
yeah. It was like
legs overlapping.
Yeah. But we'll put it this way: it's enough to make a team and have some substitutes.
Yeah,
so we had a few in
Brilliant.
there. Yeah, but we
got
there. Yeah, got us there. We lost comfortably, 6-0.
Oh wow.
Yeah, comfortably. But what it done, the manager of Charlton just said, I like 6 of them. Can they come back and train? And I was one of the 6.
Wow.
But even though I was in there, I knew, I saw what the next level was. I'm like, to get to that, I don't know, you got to do it. But I was driven and I wanted it, really wanted it. So anyway, out of the 6 of us, it got whittled down to 2. And then I got offered, like they call it a schoolboy contract. So you train twice a week and then play on a Sunday. And that's when it started. They offered me that from the 6. And those 2 years were difficult in terms of understanding, like eating, traveling. I'd just eat hard food, yam, dasheen and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can't be eating that the day before the game because, they're giving you not enough energy. So,
and that's it. It's the science behind it, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's just, you must, just be unaware of it.
Exactly.
You don't know what you don't know.
Drinking like cans of Coke before.
Yeah, well, it's like now, isn't it? With them drinking the energy drinks and stuff. And
yeah.
Like,
that ain't going to do you no good.
No.
Yeah, until later on you find out. So that was the break, really. But I suppose my understanding of any sport, wherever you go, that first break you get is probably the easiest because now you're in a position where everybody you're competing against and in your team you're competing with them for the next contract. So psychologically there's a lot going on.
You're like, it's constant fight mode.
It is, and proving
yourself like, all the time,
and you're constantly going, you're constantly, there's no off, but you're enjoying it because that's all you know now. But then you get to a space, and this is where I think it changes. You get to a space where you've got a decision to make. And I had that. I got to 16, done my exams, because my dad said, if you don't finish your schoolwork, you're not playing football. So done my exams, started my apprenticeship. In the first year of that apprenticeship, which is now a scholar, so 16 to 17, I don't think I trained. If they say there's 52 weeks of training, I think I trained probably about 20 weeks of those 52 weeks.
No way.
Because I was injured.
Oh no.
Yeah, because the physical demand, I'd never been under that before. And I was still a boy, growing. So psychologically, again, it was like, what's going on? And then I could see these guys who are my teammates who want the same contract as me.
Yes, like you're pitted against each other as well, isn't you? So you probably find yourself in situations where your friends telling you like they want you to get better, and probably actually you've experienced this, no doubt, like where you genuinely want them to get better, but you kind of don't. You know what I mean? Because then my chances are increased. That's dog eat dog, isn't it?
It is, but it's hard. It is hard because you've been playing football with your mates on a Sunday.
And now they're like your arch enemies.
Yeah, and it's
Do you feel like football's evolved enough that, you know, you're never going to like completely do away with things like that because it's just human nature, right? But do you feel, working in football as you do as a mentor and coach and everything, do you feel that it's evolved enough that things like that are taken into consideration?
Yes, definitely now, but I think there's more when you think of like nutrition is a big thing, because if you can't fuel yourself well, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
The way your body copes with physical exercise, I hear so many stories of boys being told at 12, 13 they're too small. When you see them at 18, they're like 6'5".
Yeah.
So there's something in there where you've got to allow that you can't write somebody off, because sometimes they think they're written off and that's it.
Yeah.
Don't think there's another avenue. So preparation like that's good, but I still think the mental preparation isn't quite there yet, because unfortunately, if you work for a club and you're a psychologist or you're part of well-being, if you show a weakness and you're wearing their badge, there's a concern that that might get back to the person who has to make decisions about you.
Yeah.
So now that side of things is being looked at, but I think that should be external.
Yeah, that's what my brain was just going to, like independent.
Yeah, because you think players are going through it. Can you imagine what the parents are going through? Parents, if we've got 5 hours, we could.
Yeah,
we
I
have to
know,
really
I feel
record.
like this. I'm like, we need
we'll have to do
episode
another
2,
one.
3, 4.
But you know what? Because you'll hear things and think, oh gosh, we could do a whole thing on that.
Yeah,
really.
yeah, just that one topic.
Yeah. So a real quick one then. So even though I want to work with young players and stuff, it's not just players, it's athletes, just athletes in general, boys and girls. So my daughter plays, she's a captain of Southampton ladies.
Is she?
Yeah, can you imagine when
well
well
done.
Yeah, that's good. That's
well
good.
Done.
Yeah, no. But no, it's what's great. It's like there's no, not in terms of her. So when I say working with all athletes, across the board, because I just think now there's a space where we can be driven to the goal, but you're not going to be happy. So let's drive to that goal. Let's never take that out of the way, but let's see what complements that. Yeah. So that even when you are there, you might have got there and started to like look after horses or look after cows or donkeys. Donkey sanctuary. Why not?
It's kangaroos.
Yeah. By the time you get to your goal of whatever that is, Olympics or whatever, you've got your goals or whatever it is, you're happy in that first thought. Second thought, I wonder how those donkeys are.
Yeah.
It just brings you back to that place of reality. Still enjoy these
and
things.
escapism, right?
Yeah, definitely. But it's got to be what triggers you. It can't be, and that's that thing of like looking in. So sorry, I should have said about parents. Because going back to the parents. So one story I heard like a number of years ago. One of the children says a family of 5. The eldest son, I think, was really good at football. Played for one of the big clubs. Yeah. So the commitment to that is huge.
Yeah, I bet.
Because as a family, they always used to go, and it was enjoyable at first. Great. Now the 2 younger siblings are like resenting the older one because all the time that the parents are taking to do this, it was
like
good.
Their lives are revolving around that.
Yeah, can't go on family holidays because they're training in the summer when it's a 6 weeks holiday. So
God, I've never even thought about it like that.
Yeah. So I said, how did they resolve it? And he said, the head of the academy said, I just said to them, do all of you have to be at every game every week? And they're like, it supports. I said, do you think if one of you came with one of the children and watched him, and then the other one came with the other child, and then you swap it round, but do it every other week, so you're all having your own time in the car journey together? And I said, how do you think of that? He said, I just thought of it on the spot. Yeah. But what he said, what I realised was my responsibility to that family, not to that one player.
Not just that one person.
Because if that player feels what they're thinking about him, then it's well. So I thought to myself, my days, you need a space for parents here.
Yeah, as well.
Yeah. And then I get the phone calls every now and again. We're looking for an agent. These ones have spoken to us. What do you recommend? And stuff like that. I'm like, I can't recommend any.
Yeah, because it must be a minefield for them as well, isn't it?
It is. You know what, the game now, and I'm going to sound really old, there's so much money in the game that there's a lot more people that can do things within it and not get found out because the ripple effect isn't that big, because it's not that small anymore, it's wide and it's massive. So parents are like wanting to make decisions and thinking about long-term future and stuff like that. And then you've got the other side of it where parents of children who can't have agents because they're like 14, the parents are given money to buy property by the agent to secure that boy.
Oh wow! Oh, that's deep.
And then
it's like cartel stuff.
It is. But they're forward thinking.
Yeah.
But then,
so an agent sees a young. Just put this into like simple terms for me.
Yeah.
So an agent might see a lad who's like 14 and be like, he's got pound signs written all over him.
Yeah.
But I can't sign him.
Yeah.
But I want to secure him.
Yep.
So I'm going to get a property or find a backhanded way of giving money to the parents with a gentleman's handshake of like, when he's of age, he's mine.
Yes.
What?
Yeah. And
that's like Epstein file stuff, like almost.
Yeah, not quite. But you see,
wow.
But then all of a sudden, if that player, that athlete is aware of that, what sort of pressure does that put on them?
What if he don't like the agent?
Or his
the teams
career,
that he represents, or what?
Yeah. So all of
the
that,
kind of man he is.
And like, the parent might just turn around and say,
is what it is.
Yeah, but we secured this.
Well, they might not ever tell him.
Yeah.
And just push him, and then they'll never know. And that's even worse, because then you think you're going, them situations in life where you think you're going mad. And you're not. Yeah. And it's not until way later that you go, see, I wasn't going mad.
Exactly, I told you.
They're the biggest head screws of all, really. Yeah. That's
and
crazy.
They're two that, that are obvious. And I've years and years ago, and I won't say the club I was at, but I saw trafficking as well.
Yeah.
I saw trafficking as well, and I'm just so shocked, and to not be able to do anything because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. All I could do is help him along the way, and I was shocked, and it was because his agent had took money from his family in another country, said he's going to have trial at these sort of club, he's definitely going to sign.
Yeah.
And then when he was with us, I said,
what's going on?
I said, what's going on? He said, and I said, where are you staying? He said, oh, we call it Africa House. I said, what?
Oh, wow.
He said, oh, we pay £25 to sleep there. We have to be out in the daytime. I said, how many people are in there? He said, sometimes 10, sometimes 15.
Wow.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And then he said he's going up north and he had no money. So, so that's again, I'm not sure I can deal with, I don't know if I'll ever, but there's going to be people that you come across who are going to need some sort of different support that a football club can't actually give.
Yeah, and so it's imperative, really, and just so important that the industry looks at how much should be being dealt with externally, really.
It's a shame, really, because football has this amazing image, it's like shiny, and everything,
$1 million contracts,
and all of that, and then it's like the Wizard of Oz. You go behind the curtain, you're like, oh my days, there's three people pulling things along.
That must be once you're in it, like you were, like professional level. That's your life. That's your career. Like, that must be just so hard, because you've got a job to do. You've got a family to support.
There's so many conflicts. There's so many conflicts. No, that's all right. Every now and again I have one word that it works, every now and again. But there's so many conflicts. There's so many moral conflicts, because I don't know if you saw recently, there's a player at Crystal Palace, Mark Gahey. Do you know? Not heard of it? Okay. So Mark was wanted by Liverpool last summer. Now Mark's contract was running out at Crystal Palace. And when I say it's running out, if he was still at Crystal Palace today, he could leave in the summer and be a free transfer. Anyone could have him for nothing.
Right.
But he's an England international.
Right.
He's unreal. He's been playing unbelievable. So whoever gets him are going to get him for nothing, pay him amazing wages, but not have to pay a fee for him. So he doesn't want to. He said to to Crystal Palace, if you want to sell me, I'll go. If you don't, I'll stay to the end of the season. Never kicked up a fuss or anything like that. Then you had two other players who went on strike, done lots of different things, and they were popular players at their club. So they've turned their own fan base against them by the way they handled things. Anyway, those two got their moves. Mark Gay didn't get his move. Right, so they were like, "Oh, he must be disappointed." And Mark said, "No, this is my decision."
Like the power's in his hands almost.
Exactly,
then at this point.
But morally, he's saying, "No, I'm sticking to this." But in the eyes of the football world, he's lost out.
Yeah,
that's what they're saying. These two pushed and done all the wrong things. And they got them. So what do you do?
Because it's like with anything, right? Like. There's, like you said, like there's a dark side in every industry, right? Not just football, modelling, everything, right? Being influencers, that type of thing. And when you go against the grain and you go against the system and the path that's designed by the system to be the right path to go down, that's when things quickly turn on you, right? And everyone will be up in arms and they can't understand how you're chill about it.
How you'll stick to your values in that.
And your moral compass.
Yeah, and I think that's where, the influence of money, because that is it really, influence of money is the driving factor. So to be able to, Mark ends up getting the move. He ends up going to Man City instead of Liverpool, but it happens in January. And he's gone there and he's doing really well. But the thing not a lot of people have spoken about is what it took for him to say, okay, Liverpool, big club, not taking me, play very well for his club that he stayed at, do everything the right way and still play well and still get a move. Nobody's spoken about that, but they're speaking about how these two...
He played it by the book.
But no, these two didn't play it by the book. I pushed it, by pushing it and going on strike. But that gets more attention than him doing it the right way, So that's what I mean. There's lots of conflicts, and I think at the end of it, I could tell you some stories. Honestly, there's one or two I'm thinking they've just come up from Pompey, right?
Yeah,
no, we have to know.
We'll do that one off camera. We'll have a little cuppa afterwards. That coffee's probably gone cold now.
No, that's all right. No, that's right. Yeah.
So talking about moral conflict, actually, me and Jade, our project support officer, you haven't had a chance to meet her because she's with one of our young people, but we were talking about, we would get obviously fangirling a little bit, because we're like your era, and like Yakubu and Luar and stuff, right? So, I had the occasion of being picked up by Luar in his Range Rover with his spinners. Yeah. And there were times when I would be over at Port Solent with everybody, but you were never part of that, which is obviously a good thing. Tick. No trafficking stories coming up here. But I would assume, from what I know, is because, moral compass in the right place. Yeah, that's great. You obviously had your first child like quite young, didn't you?
Yeah, 20 years old.
20 years old.
20 years old, yeah.
Which is amazing.
Little Nathan's now big Nathan.
Oh yeah. How many children did you have in the end?
Three. So boy, Nathan, girl, Atlanta, boy, lovely. Cameron.
Oh wow. Yeah. And have any of them followed in Dad's footsteps with the football?
Yeah, so they all played. Interestingly enough, they were all really sporty, and but football is what they were really drawn to. The boys play at step 3 level. I think that's right. I probably got that wrong. And enjoy it. But my daughter, she's professional. She now is captain of Southampton Ladies.
Wow.
Which is
what
an achievement. And she represents Jamaica.
Wow.
Yeah, she played in the World Cup. I think it was 2 years ago. Maybe?
Oh my God, that must have been so exciting.
Amazing.
Isn't it incredible how far women's football has come?
I know.
Like, it's insane, isn't it?
When you think America had it established from the 70s. What? Yeah, because there was some sort of law brought out that if any sports was started, it had to be started male and female.
Oh wow!
So they've had a lot of build up, but
like head start on it almost kind of thing.
Yeah. But what we've done in the last 15 to 20 years has been remarkable, really.
It is, isn't it?
But what I enjoy is that there's still a sense of naivety. So even if they get fouled, they'll quickly get back up and
Yeah,
carry on going.
yeah.
And I think, you know what, that's the way it should be played, not
Yeah.
rolling around trying to get, you know,
your acting skills. No, 100%.
So
I love that.
they've all followed in their own way.
Yeah.
But she's the one that's been able to continue on and make a career from it.
Oh, that's amazing. And long may that continue.
Yeah, that's what we hope.
It's epic.
Yeah.
Is there a World Cup coming up?
There is. They've got the men's World Cup in the summer, which is
this year.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Which is in America, Mexico, and Canada. I think based over the 3 countries, and I think the women's one is either next season or the following season because we just won the Euros last year.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm sure. Yeah. So I think the women's World Cup will be next year. But I know England are putting in a bid to host.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So I think that'll
be big.
That'll be really big.
Really big.
It's grown so much now.
And you were obviously at Pompey for a long time, right?
Yeah.
You're just like, if you're a Pompey supporter and you don't know who Linvoy is, then you're clearly not a Pompey supporter. You know, even if it's new generation, right? They know the history of the game and the team. And I know one of the stands is named after you as well, isn't it? Which is a huge deal.
Did you know that they gave me a dustpan and brush so I can clean up after every game?
Imagine that. You can have the stand, but
well,
and you've got an MBE as well.
Yeah,
like, that's props, isn't it?
Yeah.
What does it stand for again? Member of the British Empire.
Empire. Yeah. It's
that must have felt really surreal.
It was. I think, you know, for me, that was more for my parents because coming over from the Caribbean, a lot of the empire was the Caribbean and part of the British Empire. So, you know, my days, we had pictures of the Queen everywhere in her place because she loved the Queen, you know. So for my parents to come along that day and
at Buckingham Palace?
No, it was at Windsor Castle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. To see their son, and this is how I always describe myself, like I'm little Linvoy from Stratford, East London, born 17th floor block of flats. The environment could have told me to go one way, but I had to fight to go another way. Yeah. And guys, look, this is
it's worth fighting.
because that time I sneaked out to go and sign for that team. Look what's happened. Now I'm not saying that's going to be my answer. Yeah,
politely rebellious. There we go.
Sneaking out.
There we go.
So, but I wanted them to see that football was a vehicle towards something. It wasn't the final outcome. Yeah. And I had the honour of being asked to carry the Olympic torch when it was in Pompey. And just before I received the flame, because everybody's got their own torch, and when they walk to you with the flame on their torch, they tip it down, you tip yours down, and the flame ignites mine, so they turn it off. Yeah. So just before I was going to get it, you've got security around, and they're all in the care, and one of them whispered in my ear, said, "Linvoy," he said, "what an honour," he said. And I said, "Yeah, amazing." He said, "Just think, there's over 7 billion people in this world, and you're the only one that's going to have that Olympic flame on your torch." I was like, "Oh my days, I better hold it tight now, you know, hold it tight." But what
put it in a glass box.
Yeah, but what it made me realise, I'm no one special, but I got that opportunity, not because I forced it. It was because my heart to help people
it's in the right place.
Yeah, and people see that, you know, and I don't, you know, the MBE, the torch, and all that. Everything I've done wasn't for that, but for my parents and other people looking on, they can see that he had no right to this. He wasn't born into this, but because he gave life a go, you know,
worked hard,
true
to your word,
and tried to be.
And I think that's like, you know, on the pitch, you were phenomenal, right? Were you a defender?
I was a defender,
and you worked obviously alongside Sol Campbell for a while. I've seen a great picture of you tackling Wayne Rooney. Like there's some epic imagery out there of you just like proper going hard for Pompey. But outside of that, you've done so much for charity. And because, like we said earlier, you're not someone that's like, look at me, look at what I'm doing. You're actually a bit of an unsung hero, you know, because of the amount of work that you've done for others is phenomenal.
You know what? you know, like I say, different people at different moments in your life make an impact.
Yeah.
Do you ever remember the program Supergran?
Yeah.
Right. So I was a bit of a fan of Supergran. Anyway, the actor who played Supergran was doing this signing in the local park to us. I'm not joking. This queue was so long, right? Hot. And I'm near the back, and I'm thinking she ain't gonna do this. Anyway, she stayed to the last person, and I don't know why. I don't know why I said to myself at that moment or sometime afterwards, if I was ever in that position, I would do the same. But that was the impact that she had on me
In
just
that
from
moment.
you know, and like the coach writing to all the clubs to get us a trial. That extra bit, that bit that no one else would have known about, is something that I think, well, that's something in me, and if I can allow that to come out without hurting myself, you know, and that's the thing I've realised. I can do so much now. I can't do as much because there's got to be a small percent that needs to top me up to make sure I can do that. And that's where I've got to.
You can't give all the time. You've got to know your limits and your boundaries. And actually, when you're a giver, it's really hard, isn't it, to learn that
and learn to say no. Yeah,
it's the hardest thing ever.
It is so
especially
hard.
when you then are throwing like young people into the mix and stuff. You need mentoring and coaching. That's even harder. What would you say is like your fondest memory of playing for Pompey?
Oh, fondest memory. Well, I've got a couple, right? Because obviously I was there a long time. So one of my fondest memories was, do you remember Yoshi, the goalkeeper?
Yes.
Right? So because part of his culture is serving and honour. So a few of us said, right, we've got to make sure we look after him, like invite him around for dinner and stuff. So anyway, there's two moments. So he comes around for dinner and we have like a lasagna or something, like homemade. He loves it. He loves it. And the children are speaking to him. He's going, yes, and you know, and all that. So anyway, I'm in the kitchen, and all of a sudden, Atlanta runs in and goes, "Dad, Yoshi's farted."
That'll be the lasagna, babe.
Yeah. And then we sat in there, and he's gone, "Oh, sorry." But then we realised when people, I think Japanese people in particular, enjoy their meals, they just freely burp and, you know,
showing appreciation.
So the kids are cracking up because they're like, now we could do it, you know. So that was one highlight. But I think on the pitch, I've got to say, I probably the promotion season, because at the beginning of that season, I'd missed the first couple of days of pre-season because I came back from Nigeria. I went on a mission trip to Nigeria. Blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind.
With the church?
It was with the church, but it was Mick Mellows. And so he used to play for Pompey as well. And stuff. So I'd call him my mentor, really, for the years I've been in Portsmouth. And so I went to Nigeria. I came back, and on the last day we stayed at a really nice hotel, and I got a bug and before that we were sleeping everywhere and no problem, got this bug that really wiped me out. So I missed the first few days of pre-season. Come in, one of the first things Harry Redknapp says, "Linvoy, you can leave. We've got, you know, replacement or whatever." And all my fear, because I should have said when I was at Charlton, even though I got the scholarship at 16 and a pro contract at 18, played a few games, I got released at 20, and by being released, there's no guaranteed club for you. So now I was going to be in the same position, but as a 28-year-old at Portsmouth, and when Harry said that. So after this, Mickey had become like my spiritual support, and he gave me a Bible verse that just said, whatever you do in word or deed, do it unto God through Jesus. And I was like, what? Don't give me no Google, you know, don't give me none of that stuff. I need to know what you're talking about. He said, Lynn, he said, you've always played for everybody else, manager, fans, or whatever. He said, why don't you play for the one that gave you the gift? And you know what? And I thought, what does that look like? Okay, I'll train, but I'll train not to try and get back in the chain, just train and play and do everything you can to make sure that if you're called upon, you're ready. Have a different mindset. Anyway, 2 weeks later, Harry says, Lynn, your attitude's been spot on. I want to keep you at
Harry Redknapp.
But in my head, I thought, well, I'm doing this for God, Harry, not you. You know, that was our thing. And then I didn't start the game. my very good friend Eddie Howe, now manager of Newcastle, gets injured in the first 5 minutes. I come on playing his position, but I've never played that position before in my entire career. Yeah. So I think as I walk onto the pitch, I'm like, God, this is for you. Anyway.
So excitement, but fear.
Yeah,
at the same
it was
time,
because you've got to remember, I'm still doubting whether he wants me or not. You know, can he replace me if he can? You know, and all of that. So all those doubts. But anyway, from that game to the final game of the season, we played say 44 or 46 games. 46 games. I play 42 of them.
Yeah.
And I get Player of the Year a number of times.
Yeah.
And we're promoted to the Premier League. And what made it amazing for me, I think that's where my relationship with the fans grew tighter because of the work outside in the community, but also on the pitch. It was like, well, what he says, he's living it, he's doing it.
Yeah.
You know, if
he's a man of his word.
Yeah, if he's going to give us 100%, he's giving us 100%.
Yeah.
He's not the most gifted. He's not like Yakubu or Lua, but what he does in his position, he does well. And for the first time, I was comfortable.
Yeah.
Really comfortable in myself. Just comfortable that this is what I do.
Yeah.
You know, if you're expecting
and if
more,
it's meant to be, it will be.
Yeah. And if you're expecting more, and I can't give you that more, this is me.
Yeah.
You know, and in the end, so that period of time was brilliant for me because what it done, it allowed me to actually fall away from football a lot more afterwards because I got dropped out of the team again for like 3 months. Could have lost my head, really lost my head, but nobody would have known that.
Yeah.
And then get back in the team, and after that, be in that Portsmouth team whenever I was fit.
Yeah.
You know, so it taught me a lot about resilience, but it also taught me that, you know, football's great, but look at this stuff outside.
Yeah.
You know, look when I'm in the community, how they respond, and some words of wisdom from them to help me take back to the, you know, it's just amazing.
It's that if you've got the strength and the resilience and the energy to do more and do work off the pitch as well as on the pitch, then why wouldn't you?
Exactly.
Kind of thing, you know. God, imagine if every single footballer was as passionate as people like you and like Marcus Rashford and people like that, you know, if they were genuinely wanting to make a difference. Like if everybody just done their little 5%, the lives that could be changed would be magical.
But you know what, sometimes, and you know, again, this is because I've seen it behind the scenes, sometimes, you know, you get those spam emails, oh, I'm so-and-so from such and such, I've got £10 million in the bank, can you do this to get this and that?
That old chestnut.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the boys, especially the overseas boys, would get begging letters.
Yeah.
But the begging letters would come from neighbours of the family.
Right.
And their family would be threatened.
Yeah.
So you know, so you've got all that on going in there as well.
Lot, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But I think a lot of players do things now under the radar.
Yeah.
A lot of them do it. But I think that a lot more players are understanding their responsibilities more now, which is great.
Yeah. And knowing that with that comes a level of, you know, I guess, responsibility.
It is.
I guess is that the right word? Responsibility to do
your
bit.
Yeah, to
like
do
you
your
say,
bit.
If it is under the radar.
Yeah, and you can. That's the thing. There's nowhere that you can't. It's just trusting, getting somewhere where you can trust people. And get involved in it that way.
And what would you say would be like a key bit of advice that you would give the next generation?
You know what? It's hard because what's coming down the track, you know, with social media, AI and all of that, it's really, it's mad. So they might have to give me some advice, I think. But I'd say
just stay off of it. Just stick to your guns, mate, and stay off of it.
Yeah, I'd say, you know what? It's going to sound like I had a dream.
Is that Martin Luther?
Yeah, Martin Luther. I had a dream. But I think my desire and dream to play football was born through a game I watched, a cup final I watched between Tottenham and Manchester City.
Yeah.
And one guy ran through, scored this amazing goal. But as I've got older, it wasn't the goal that amazed me, it was what the reaction was. And from that moment, I said, if he can do it, so can I. I didn't know how I was going to get there, but the dream was planted.
Yeah.
And I think I'd say to that next generation, if you've really got a dream that's in your heart, it just won't go.
Yeah.
You know, pursue it.
Listen.
Yeah, pursue it, because while you're pursuing it, you can move in different directions. But if you just stood still, you can't move. You can keep going forward, but you can't steer to maneuver.
Yeah.
And a really, really good friend of mine said, you know what, God can't direct a stationary car. So he said, go to what you think it might be. It might not be that, but it might be the first bottle. You might have to steer around it or steer, and you end up in doing something that you never imagined doing. But you've got to be moving.
Yeah, and even if you're doing 5 miles an hour, not 50 miles an hour.
5 miles an hour is best,
Yeah,
I reckon.
yeah, it's a marathon, not a race,
exactly.
and all that jazz.
And you can see the view
yes,
as well, you know.
On your way to Plymouth.
Yeah. Those hills, those tractors.
Yeah.
But it is that, I think, if you've got the dream, the thing is, and I'll speak on my own behalf here. I didn't realise how much power I had at making myself not do things. I'd negotiate myself out of doing things, you know.
Like create your own barriers.
Yeah. And I didn't realise, it's like, you know, you don't have to do that. You can, if there's that little dream, it's like this mentoring, coaching for me. I can't put it away.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer for you, isn't it? You've got that mentality. I mean, with us and with me personally, you know, for me, 99% of things where there's a problem, there will be a solution.
Yes.
You know, and there will be a way to get there, and you've just got to figure it out. And sometimes that takes time and patience and resilience. But like you said, if you've got a goal and you've got a dream, put your mind to it, and you've got to put in the work. Like, no one's going to come along and just wave a magic wand. You've got to do it.
That process.
What would you say is the most politely rebellious thing you've ever done?
Well, definitely now we've learned that, didn't we?
We've hit going through them drawers, finding that birth certificate.
And again, that it was strange because I felt, you know, my parents might say something different, but I thought I was quite an obedient child. So to do something like that,
it was like a big deal. Your heart must have been.
I had to get on a bus. I had to get on a bus. Put some money in and all that. So, but I think that was it. And the significance of that is, even because that dream had started a few years before, it was like, well, I don't think I can let nothing get in the way. There might have been opportunities later on, but it's like, I don't think nothing can get in the way of this. So
it changed that moment of being politely rebellious, literally changed the trajectory of your life, right?
Yeah. I think what it done, it gave me a platform. That's what it done, because I think in some way my platform, like if there weren't strikes in school, my platform might have been school football, and I might not needed to go there, and I still might have been part of a Sunday congregation because you know, my football had been on a Saturday or whatever. But yeah, I think that was the moment. And when I tell the story, every now and again I used to go out a lot and share the story, and I used to make sure my mum and dad weren't in the audience and say, right, I snuck off.
By the way.
And kids, do it, but don't do it, you know? You know, one of them
do
ones.
it, but don't get caught.
Don't get caught.
Well, you're not breaking the law, technically.
No,
it's okay.
But
it's okay.
I don't want you signing up for like the army and you're like 12 years old.
Yeah, I know, like, can you imagine?
Linvoy said.
It's okay. You're still working in partnership with other organisations and other people, but you're now like, well, let's do this with my name across it. Why not?
And I think the reason it's where I see this space is because when you're on the performance pathway, there's you're all of a sudden there's a different expectation. There's like you're going to be like an international or pro or whatever. And the identity part in there is something that for a 14, 15-year-old, even 16, but 14, 15-year-old with exams, with expectations and stuff like that, there's a lot going on, isn't there? There's a lot going on.
And then, like you said, you throw in social media and all that stuff as well.
So to be able to give them a space to be able to just be them is going to be far better, that they get stuff off their chest so they can receive stuff then. Because if they're blocked up with everything, they can't hear stuff because they can't get stuff out. But if they feel about getting stuff out to somebody they know who knows the sport is a weakness, they're not going to say anything.
Yeah.
So that's why being able to be
as an external independent who's not going to go and, you know, tell their coach that they're like, you know.
And sometimes, and this has happened a few times, I've worked with players who've come into crossroads, and I think 4 or 5 of them out of maybe say 15 or so have chosen different careers out of football, you know, because they realise actually I don't like it, but they didn't feel safe enough to say that to their family, felt it was safe enough to say it to me, and for me not to judge them. You know,
it's really important they have that safe space, right?
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, any type of mentoring or coaching, especially with young people, it's so much more powerful when the person comes with the lived experience. You know, when you genuinely know how they're feeling and how much of a minefield it is. Well, I look forward to seeing that.
Lovely. Well, I'm going to offer myself to come back here again at some point, so I can give you some updates or
and stuff.
Or anything that might come up. And you think,
well, there's so much
interesting.
synergy, isn't there, between the two worlds that we're living in, and
definitely
the two roles that we've both got on a day-by-day basis. So absolutely, I can see that coming to life. So for the last part, we're going to take it down a notch.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you some quick-fire questions.
Oh, hello. Let's told about this.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay.
No right or wrong answer, obviously. So tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Yeah. Easter or Christmas?
Oh, good question. Easter.
Jade said he would say that. She's like, Easter's got more meaning. Christmas is fake. I'm like, okay, tell you go to church. Apples or pears?
Oh, right. There's got to be a caveat.
Right.
The pear has to be soft, just right. Yeah. Apples, you can go like with anything. You're sort of going to get the same, unless they're golden, the red ones, thick red. Pears. Yeah.
Fair play. Socks or no socks? So socks. What about like when you're in bed?
Look at these. Camouflage.
They are. No,
not in bed.
No socks. No.
Feet you got to be aired.
No. I never understand how people can wear socks to bed.
No. I did when I was little. I did because
got to cover them tootsies. I always say to
but
my son.
I always used to remember ice being on my bedroom window where it was so cold because we didn't have heating in the room. So
you go to bed with your dressing gown on. I was saying to my son the other day, he was like, "Oh, Mum, it's so cold," and I was like, "Are you serious, son? You're in like a lush house in Drayton with the heating on." And I was like, you know, when I was little, I could see the smoke.
It was like in the bedroom.
And he was like, "What, indoors?" And I'm like, "Yes, son, indoors."
You're like, oh my God.
Oh dear, you double up on the socks, triple up on the socks. Oh, sorry, we digress, but that's fine. Sand or grass?
Oh.
So if you have got no socks on and you're dippy in sand or grass?
I've been in both. I'm going to say grass. I'm going to say grass because
it's less messy.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, practical now.
Practicality. And I do love that thing of just no socks and just at one with
feel.
nature.
Yeah, it's just a nice connection.
I love
really.
that. Well, Lynn, shall I say, because we're buddies now. Thank you so much.
No problem.
And I do feel like we probably do need another episode at some point. One, to talk about the new business, and also I'd love to dive a little bit deeper into the charity work and your love of church and stuff like that.
That'd be great.
That'd be really cool.
That'd be really good. Yeah. Thank you. It's been lovely. Thank you.